Welcome back to our show. I'm Gary Fretz, and coming up in our next segment, we're talking about ways to finance your boat. In this segment, I'm pleased to have as our guest Michel Benaroche. Michel has been called an international man of mystery, inventor of the internet. He supposedly holds a patent on the wheel, and most importantly, he founded the world's largest charter yacht owners group. So he's one of the world's foremost experts on charter yacht ownership. And he has a website called sailonline.com that offers information about charter yacht ownership and things like that. He's owned 2 charter yachts, and he's been to the BVI in the Caribbean over 30 times. Michel, tell me, what are some common misconceptions about charter yacht ownership?
Well, I would say there are basically 2 misconceptions. The first one is that a charter boat is or could be an investment. It's not the case, and we may talk about it later. And the second one is that charter boats are basic boats which end their life with the charter company completely beat up and worthless. So those are 2 ideas that are really in the mainstream of people who don't know much about the experience of charter boat ownership. The fact that a charter boat can be an investment is obviously completely erroneous. It is only a way to defray the cost of owning a boat. Most people who do it for 2 reasons. Either they just want to enjoy the experience and keep rolling from a boat to another, or they prepare their retirement and they time the purchase of the boat as such. The other misconception about the shape of the boat at the end of the charter life basically depends completely on the choice of the charter company that will keep the boat in the fleet. If the company is a good company with a good reputation and a good maintenance program, obviously barring the fact that that the boat can have an accident maybe. Other than that, the good company will give you a charter boat in excellent shape at the end of the program.
How did you choose your charter company?
Well, I did a lot of homework and research, and the company that I chose was offering a program that really suited my needs. I wanted to have my boat in the Caribbean, but I also wanted to be able to sell a similar boat in other places worldwide, and that company offered that benefit.
Wait a second. Tell me about that a little more. What's this about sailing other similar boats in other locations around the world?
Well, the large charter companies, and there are only 3 in the world today, have bases or location worldwide. And let's say you buy a 45-foot monohull with the company, and the boat is based in the Caribbean in a particular location. Well, the program offers the owner of the boat the possibility of sailing 2 or 3 weeks a year in a different base, obviously in the same charter company, and a different base anywhere in the world where they have that base on a similar boat. And that is it's not a marketing tool; it's a real benefit that a lot of people really appreciate.
So, if you have plans to make your escape and sail off into the sunset eventually, this could be a great way to get experience, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely, and quite a few people, as I said, time the purchase of the boat with their retirement 5 or 6 years down the line, and they use this time to get familiar with the boat, confirm that it is really the boat that they want to use for their retirement. They can also go sailing in other locations, see how it is to sail in the Med, to sail in the South Pacific, and it's a tremendous tool to acquire experience both on the boat and on different sailing grounds.
And if you don't have a wealth of experience, the charter company will help you find an instructor or captain who will go along with you and train you. Can you talk about that?
Sure. Actually, when you charter a boat, even if you don't own it, the company supposedly will check your resume out and make sure that you are a decent and competent seaman. And if they deem that you're not, then they will ask you to take on board a freelance skipper for either 1 day or 2 days or 7 days or 8 days, depending on your competence, to make sure that you understand the boat and that you are safe.
That sounds like a great way to learn, too. And how did you choose your boat?
Well, I was always a monohull sailor, so and at that time the catamarans did not had not taken the market by storm as they have now. So the monohulls were really the boat of choice, and I really enjoyed monohull sailing. I like to have the rail in the water, as they say. So that's why I chose the boat, and it was a very good deal. I like the comfortable layout. I like the way the boat looked, and that's how I chose my boat.
Okay. And if you couldn't make your escape right now, what do you think is a good plan to affect something like this?
Well, assuming that let's say you want to escape in 5 or 6 years down the line, so most charter companies offer contracts that last 5 or 6 years. At the end of the contract, and the boat is going to be phased out, which is something that Gary will talk another time. The boat is phased out, and then you're on your way to sailing in the sunset. If you make a mistake or you think circumstances have changed, you can always take the boat out of the fleet, put it in another charter company that will take your boat, and keep doing the same thing for another year or two, and then go out and do your escape.
Now, you just returned from the BVI, the British Virgin Islands, and you were there a week. Tell me, what did you do there? What typically, how would you use your boat in a typical week? Just give us a quick overview. We've got about a minute and a half left.
Well, the BVIs are a very particular sailing ground, and it's probably unique in the world, in my opinion. But typically, I do a big loop. But what's very particular about the BVIs, even though I've been there so many times, is that there are still places that I don't know and that I have not explored yet. So I usually try to do a mix depending on the guests that I have on board. This time I had divers, so I try to do a mix of the very commonly used places, and I try every time I try to discover at least two or three new areas that I have not seen before, or some anchorages that I don't know.
Okay, well, we're going to have to take a short break, and we'll be right back to continue this discussion. And you're listening to Yachts, the perfect escape vehicle, only on Overseas Radio Network.